The Ellen Carrington Show is brought to you by Palm Tree Books, located in Tampa, Florida. Palm Tree accepts manuscript submissions directly from authors and literary agents in addition to offering non-exclusive contracts and generous royalties on a quarterly basis. Visit the Palm Tree Books website at palmtreebooks.wordpress.com for more information. Palm Tree Books, where published authors are paid, not paying to get published. It's the Ellen Carrington Show on Spreaker Radio with lively discussions on books, sports, current events, news, entertainment, lifestyles, the occasional guest, whatever. Nothing is off limits, so you never know what to expect. And good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of the Ellen Carrington Show. This will be the final show of 2014. As we all know, the holidays are busy times for everyone, including me, so I'll be taking the next few weeks off after today, probably back sometime after the first year. Not exactly sure when, because I have something coming up in mid-January, mainly. I'm going through with having my knee operation, so wish me luck on that one. But on to today's show. I recently had an online discussion with several other people on children's beauty pageants, of all things, and the consensus was not everybody really enjoyed them that much, at least ones I talked to. But as you know, John Benet Ramsey and Honey Boo Boo are among many girls who did the child pageant circuit, and it can be controversial to some people. But here is a common question asked among us during the online discussion. What drives a mother to dress their 5-year-old daughter in costumes more suitable for teenage girls or adult women? Apply thick makeup, hair extensions, false eyelashes and teeth, and then send them on stage to dance and prance around before an audience of practically total strangers. What drives them to do that? It's unfathomable to, I guess, what you call the layperson like myself. But some think pageant moms, quote unquote, they drive girls into pageants at such early ages to compensate for their own unfulfilled dreams. Moms live through their children. Hey, put them in a pageant. If they're successful, it's going to make me look good. And they like the attention. Some moms like the attention. Hey, especially their kid wins all these pageants one after the other. That looks good on mom, at least in their mind. But the biggest consensus among us, however, was a shared opinion on how child pageants are just one of many breeding grounds for pedophiles. Of course, I don't know how pedophile thinks, but a lot of folks tend to think that the whole child pageant thing seems to be up there. Personally, I dislike these kind of pageants, and I always made my feelings known to parents who push their daughters to do them. And if I offend mom, hey, she's just going to have to suck it up and deal, because nothing will change my mind about these things. I find child pageants, I should say, to be degrading to little girls, and generally they're outright disgusting. Kids grow up fast enough as it is, and let them enjoy their childhood. When I was 5 years old, I was up, drinking from the garden hose and playing with my little dolls, or, whatnot. But, I wasn't worried about, getting hair extensions and putting on false eyelashes and the whole shebang. Child pageants in my day, I guess, were virtually unheard of, to be honest. But in my opinion, dressing young daughters in grown-up attire, coloring their hair, putting makeup on them, in addition to that, these pageants send girls the wrong messages. And it's more or less telling them, being beautiful is your biggest worth. Don't worry about getting an education or developing intelligence. Looks are important. Hey, what others see, that's what it's all about. And that's not always, that's not a good, healthy thing to draw on these kids' mind. And on that note, I found an excellent blog post on Psychology Today which offers similar insights on child beauty pageants and the damages of being driven to participate them can cause later in life. And I'm going to post the article's full link at the end of today's show, but for now, I'll read a few paragraphs to give you some general idea on this topic. And I'll click it up here in just a moment. Okay. Child beauty pageants. What are we teaching our girls? And this is very interesting. If it ever loads. Here we go. But in the recent issue of French Vogue, this article, by the way, is from August 12th of 2011. It's by Marina M. Cartwright, PhD. It's called, it's a food for thought. That's the blog title. But the recent issue of French Vogue has sparked outrage for its photos of a 10-year-old model lying in a sea animal print, wearing a chest-revealing gold dress, stilettos, and heavy makeup. Cries of how young is too young to model, to be quote-unquote sexy, etc., have ignited controversy about early sexualization of children. However, what of the looming concern of programming young children to be ultra-conscious about physical appearance and the impact on adult body image and disordered eating? And go on in the article. Here's another part I like to read. Many experts agree that participation in activities that focus on physical appearance at an early age can influence teen and or adult self-esteem, body image, and self-worth. Issues with self-identity after a child, quote-unquote, retires from the pageant scene in her teens are not uncommon. Struggles with perfection, dieting, eating disorders, and body image can take their toll in adulthood. And there's another point here I'll read that the author makes good point here. The child pageant and dance circuits are competitive, demanding, and stressful. Watch any reality, dance, or pageant show and see how children are placed under enormous pressure to perform flawlessly. Tears, tantrums, and fits frequently ensued, with some adults mocking crying children. As a result, child performers may believe their parental and or adult love approval are anchored to how perfectly they look or how well they ignite the stage with their presence. Long practice sessions are the norm and interfere with social activities, sleep, and homework. Just the other day, a popular dance show featured adults candidly admitting that they encourage activity over education. When confronted, devotees said, quote, "My daughter loves it," or, quote, "ask if she likes doing it." Money, ratings, and attention fuel the pageant dance media machine, with parents and adults reaping the benefit. That's what I was saying earlier about, why parents, shove these kids into the pageant world, whether they like it or not. And, yeah. Adults need to be aware of the potential long-term impact super competitive, beauty-driven pursuits can have on a girl's psyche. Intense participation in activities that spotlight on physical appearance instills the idea that physical beauty and superficial charm are keys to success, thus making self-worth and self-esteem tied to attractiveness. And that's pretty much what I said earlier. Being beautiful is important to heck with everything else. But it's a very good article, and I encourage everybody to check it out. It's very well written. And here's another opinion of mine. And if a girl wants to participate in pageants, why not wait until about maybe age 16? They're pretty much coming into their own. Some teens can struggle with their self-identity. But here's the thing. If you want to do a pageant, aim for those offering scholarships or similar prizes. With this, pageant winners can walk away with having more sense of accomplishment than just physical beauty and being a perfect performer. And, you develop your smarts, you get that, a nice scholarship, you pay for your college, you're going to develop some smarts, you're going to get further ahead in life. And I'm going to express a case in point here. One discussion participant worked the 1980s pageant circuit. Her winnings paid for a private school education and allowed her to travel. She loved dance and is currently an instructor. And she added that child pageantry in the 1980s was more basic and tamer than modern ones. You know, John Bonet and Honey Boo Boo types were virtually unheard of. And with that, I also came across a debate on the subject of whether or not child beauty pageants should be banned. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a couple points on here because this is also very good. I found a lot of good things on here while I was researching for today's show. Here we are. 54% said that child pageants should be banned, and 46% say no. I'll read the yes one first. Here's a couple of yes ones first. Yes, it should be banned worldwide. It's a dream for older men who have an attraction for young kids. I was saying earlier about the whole pedophile thing. And it is disturbing and horrid things these pageant moms would do to win an improper, having a spray tan. The kids who compete in these pageants, mainly girls, dress inappropriate for their age and wear too much makeup. They should just be kids, and pageant moms are the only having their children dress and look like mini hookers. Some good points there. Here's a good one here on the yes side. Insecure moms need help. You are only young and innocent once. Why rob them of their childhood? Children do not need makeup, fake tans, and fancy clothes made for a woman to wear to be beautiful. Not to mention the horrible chemicals you are exposing their developing bodies into. Most people protect their children. Think of the message you are sending your child. To be beautiful, you must wear layers and layers of makeup, fake tan, and cheap-looking clothes. Parade around to get acceptance because you are not okay the way you are. Wake up! Their moms must be so insecure. Now on the no side, beauty pageants should not be banned. We have all seen the show Toilers and Tiaras, but that show is over-exaggerated. All the kids you see are just brats. It has nothing to do with the competition itself. You see the parents freaking out over the kid not winning because they have entered so many times. They get more and more competitive each time. If we have age limits for certain pageants, then we can make sure kids won't get too competitive. Also, if we have limit on how many pageants you are allowed to do in a certain period of time, then kids and parents won't get too competitive. Well, then you know what? That's a good point. And let me see. There's another one on the no side. Child beauty pageants, okay. In reality, child beauty pageants are okay and aren't that harmful to most children. Some children can even find themselves empowered by participating in these events. With that in mind, beauty pageants need to be handled carefully by parents because they are the best option for every child in the world. And, that's a good one too. And I can see a point on the real side. About everybody said, derogatory impacts, distorted values, little girls looking like dolls. And, I've seen pictures online. If you Google child beauty pageants, and these pictures come up, you will be amazed how these girls look. As a matter of fact, I posted a photograph on the show's Facebook page. I suggest you check that out with what they do to these kids. It's horrible. And, there's this 5-year-old, they look like they're in their 20s or something, or they're like mini adults. It's horrible to see, at least in my opinion. But I'm going to sum up the topic today with, in my opinion, a few other pointers here. If you're going to let your kids do pageants, number one, make sure the child wants to do them. Don't shove them in there for you. My life sucked. Hey, maybe my kid will win a few pageants that'll make me look good. No. If the kid wants to do them, fine. Go ahead. And certainly if you can afford it. People have mortgaged their houses to put their kids in pageants. So that's just going too far. And number two, provide them with a balance of competitions and other activities. Stress the beauty pageants and performing aren't everything. Education, a social life, developing other talents and skills. Let them go out, be kids, and play in the dirt and climb trees, and play a video game once in a while or something. Let them be kids because they grow up too fast as it is. But stress that education and developing another talent or a skill will get them further in life and later in their adult years. Let them play sports, They like softball. By all means, encourage that too. It's not going to hurt them. But number 3, and this is the most important, offer the child unconditional love. Let them know they're not always going to win at everything. Whether they get the pageant crown or don't even make the finals. Make it clear, hey, honey, we still love you. We think you're great. Maybe you did something in the pageant that didn't allow you to win, but we still think you're awesome. Let them know. Give them a pat on the back and say, hey, great job either way. But on that note, I'm going to end the show today with thanks to my listeners. Whatever holiday you observe, I wish you all a safe and joyful season. I'll see you again in 2015 sometime. I'm not sure what date. Again, I'm going to be having surgery in mid-January, so things are going to be kind of busy the next several weeks anyway, but I'll probably pop a show in sometime in late January. Let's see how things go. Again, thank you for listening. Take care. Have a beautiful day.